Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be talking about the best 15 brawlers in the game after the balance changes. So you know how I did a video yesterday saying as balance changes come in. Well, apparently they just arrived this morning. Yeah, a bit random, but we're going to be talking about balance changes. Going to be doing a tier list in a few days time as well. Hopefully, fingers crossed we have enough time for that before I go away. But yeah, a lot of changes in the meta, and mainly nerfs. So we're not going to see a lot of like big improvements from some of the bad brawlers in the game. It's mainly just brawlers from the top of the meta dropping down. So starting off with one of the best brawlers in the game. Again, I'm going to say where I think they are pretty much, but I won't want to ruin my tier list that I'm going to be adding it in a few days time. But starting off with Nori. So Nori right now is still an S tier brawler in the game. He's one of the few brawlers at the top of the meta that didn't receive any nerfs. So you guys know the drill with Nori. He's just a super aggressive assassin that's able just to grapple onto so many walls, fly over so many walls, and get so much pressure. So he's incredibly hard to deal with, and he's still not out in ranked just yet and not available for the pros to use. So we don't know the full extent of how good he is, but in ladder he's pretty rampant. He is counterable, but at the same time you can't counter him in like heist. He's like Chuck, but way better in terms of just getting onto the enemy safe. So yeah, Nori's really annoying to deal with, and he's probably approaching the top 5 brawlers now. Surge is still in my top 15. So Surge, if you guys didn't know, received 2 nerfs, one to his unload speed by around 20% and one to his gadget power shield, so he only receives 1 ammo when he gets hit in comparison to 2. So those in theory seem like pretty decent nerfs to Surge, but yeah, after trying him out, even a 20% nerf to his unload speed didn't actually do all that much. I played a couple of games of Surge on ranked and just destroyed everybody still, because the thing with Surge, you still have a free super when you respawn. And you might be thinking, again, I've explained this a lot, but in comparison to the old Serve Ice Cold, it just allows you to jump over walls. It allows you to just counter a lot of brawlers, which you probably wouldn't have been able to do, because Surge's super is really powerful. You literally jump in the air and jump over walls, and you knock them back when you land. So it's a very powerful super, and I still think the unload speed allows him just to still kill a lot of different brawlers. You can definitely feel it, but I don't think it's been too impactful. So I don't see a world where Surge slips below the S tier. Next brawler who I believe will still easily be top 15 has to be Star Nova. So where she's going to place in terms of tier rankings, still a little bit undecided. We'll play a few more games with her in ranked in today's stream to really test her out, but I still get the impression that Star Nova is going to be insane. I think what a lot of people do is see quite a few nerfs. A lot of the time they overreact and think, oh, this brawler is dead, this brawler is not going to be good whatsoever. But it's not like Star Nova is still going to be the same, because when you take a look at her nerfs, are it really going to impact her too much? Not really. I mean, the health nerf a little bit, but this is literally just taking back the health buff that she received. And when she received those buffs, she was already a high A tier brawler in the meta. It's just she was really underrated, and then the buffs just were really unnecessary. Yes, the reload speed nerf is pretty good, and it definitely impacts her. So I feel like there is a chance to actually get on top of a Star Nova now. There are a few counters to her now, so I think aggression is the key to countering Star Nova because of the slow reload speed and the lack of damage in her main form. But she's still just so incredibly versatile. She has pop-off moments. She's still easily going to be minimum A tier. This brawler who's actually going to be a lot better than maybe the brawlers surrounding her is going to be Max. So Max already was such a top meta brawler, but when you take a look at Max's nerfs in comparison to a lot of the other meta brawlers around her, it's literally a slap on the wrist. It was pretty much nothing. The nerfs that she received, one of them was with her dash gadget, so you only have 2 seconds to use 2 dashes instead of 3. It's not really going to impact things too much because most people just spammed out 2 dashes anyways, but it's a nice change. It's welcomed. Another nerf was to her super charge rate whilst she's just moving around, so her and Bolt received the same nerf, but that wasn't really the nerfs I was expecting with Max. I was expecting a much bigger nerf to just her super charge rate in general, just how long it takes through, hitting your shots. Maybe just nerfing that by a couple of shots would have been nice. And we needed her hypercharge super to be nerfed, because these are the reasons why she's just able to spam unlimited supers to her and her team, and her and her team can just get infinite speeds as well. It's just crazy. You've also got the supercharged star power, which gives a really good shield boost. So Max easily probably going to be going into the top 3 now. The next brawler who's still easily going to be top 15 is 8-Bit again. So I would like to be wrong on a few of these brawlers, because when a lot of these meta brawlers are nerfed, it's just natural that maybe a few of them slip further down, but I don't think 8-Bit is going to be that brawler. I still think it's going to be pretty consistent, We'll have to see if he's as broken as before. He could be like a high A tier brawler. I still anticipate him being in the S tier personally. But with 8-bit, he's received a few nerfs and he's still insane to me. So he's received a big supercharge rate nerf. So this is definitely the biggest one that's going to impact him. A 20% nerfs to his supercharge rate. That means that you might have more opportunities to destroy his turret, and without his turret, that's when 8-bit is most vulnerable. But at the same time, you've got his extra credits gadget, which if you're within 8-bit's range, a lot of the time you're just going to end up dying. So I'm still waiting for the day that they actually nerf this gadget properly instead of just a cooldown, a slap on the wrist. They need to be nerfing its damage that it outputs 100%, because I've said it time and time again, if you're approaching 8-bit and he fires 2 ammos at the same time, you are dead most of the time. So yeah, I still anticipate 8-bit being an S tier brawler pretty much. He's still insane, but he does have his weaknesses and you can counter him. That's the thing I like about 8-bit. The next brawler who I think is going to be top 15, but I think he's going to be scraping top 15, and maybe by the time I do a tier list, might be outside of it. It is Griff. So Griff can be one of those brawlers which will just completely be overrated by the majority of players, and then he just won't be seen in the meta. It's very rare to get Griff's metas because of the range. He just really lacks range most of the time. But anyways, yeah, Griff is receiving a couple of nerfs. Basically, he's getting a nerf to his piggy bank gadget again, so he's exploding less off the map, which is nice. So that's actually a big nerf to him. And he's receiving a nerf to the keep the change star power, so he has an increased spread. Some people think it's a buff. It is not a buff. I don't know whether it's as big as a nerf as maybe we would have wanted with keep the change. We'll have to see how it plays out. It will always take a few days to really figure out these types of brawlers. But in theory, at maximum range, that means less consistent damage. Think of Crow's nerf that they was going to do when they was going to make his attack way more spread out. That definitely would have impacted Crow a lot more than Griff, because Griff just fires out shots. It's just a lot easier to hit shots. But anyways, yeah, it's in theory, it's supposed to lower his damage, especially for people that have good aim. But I'm thinking maybe this also could be good in some ways when you're facing off against like a Max or someone with high mobility. Maybe that could actually work out the more spread, because you're just going to hit more shots, right? So yeah, it's a little bit of a weird one. We'll see where he lands. The next brawler who I think is easily going to be top 15 has to be Meg. So Meg, again, I don't mind it when Meg is meta too much, as long as she's not abhorrently broken like she was literally on the Buffy release. So right now, like, yeah, she's very strong, but she's counterable, right? Because she has limited range. But anyways, Meg is still going to be easily top 15 and easily S tier in my opinion, because she received no nerfs, which I'm a little bit surprised about. Because for me, well, I think she should have just got a few small nerfs, especially with the toolbox gadget. It's very cheesy, right? And then maybe a hypercharge buffy seems a little bit too powerful. But everything else seems roundabout balanced to Meg where it kind of should be at right now. So yeah, I think again the meta around her is just going to help her. Everyone's receiving nerfs, she isn't. So in theory, she's going to get a bit better. Next brawler definitely in the top 15 has to be Lou. So again, another brawler that didn't receive a nerf. He's not anything broken, but it's quite clear that the projectile size right now for Lou is too big. It's too easy for him to land consistent shots. And yes, I like it that Lou received a buff, because every now and then I think his main attack is too hard to hit, especially nowadays Brawl Stars. He just doesn't have that capability anymore. Well, before the projectile buff, but now it's just too easy for him to land shots, too easy to cycle supers. And again, other brawlers around him are receiving nerfs. He didn't receive a nerf, so in theory he's going to get a little bit better. But you got to be careful with Lou, because he kind of wants these meta brawlers to be good, because he's a good counter to Meg. He's a good counter to 8-bit. So if these types of meta brawlers get much worse than we're actually thinking, then Lou might go down in theory as well because of the meta around him. Anyways, Lou is still ultra consistent, and he should easily be in and around the S tier. The next brawler who's going to be eating so good, she's going to be cooking right now, it is Pearl. So Pearl, since the last set of balance changes, the pros have been loving the Pearl, and it feels like she gets stronger and stronger every single week in the meta. And right now, she's surely got to be S tier. She's on the brink of it. She's either low S tier or high A tier, absolutely. Again, all the meta brawlers around her receive nerfs, and she didn't get a nerf. She's a little bit too powerful right now, because she can just heat up so quickly, and then when you attack, you don't lose hardly any heat. Her minimum maximum damage got buffed some time ago as well, so all of these buffs in turn have just made Pearl such a strong brawler. She's such a strong meta counter right now. So you think of like Star Nova, you think of Surge, like Pearl can really burst these brawlers down pretty quickly. You think of Meg as well, can be pretty decent to Meg. Think of Max. A lot of these meta brawlers, Pearl it's good into. So I only see Pearl getting stronger and stronger. Next brawler who I think is still going to be in the top 15 has to be Bolt. So Bolt, again, I see your guys' complaints, and I know your frustrations it can be so annoying to face off against him in a ladder. But I think in ranked he is counterable, so that's maybe why I was not harsh on Bolt, but that's why I put him in the A tier. A lot of people would be having him in the S tier. Bolt received a couple of nerfs, and I don't think it's really enough. He received a trait nerf, so he gets his super a little bit less from moving, and his damage reduction with his super it's gone down to 30%, but it's still going to be the same old cheesy Bolt. They haven't really nerfed him as much as they needed to, so yeah, he's still going to be like a great last pick pretty much everywhere inside of rank. So you've always got to be careful in your draft that a Bolt can be picked, and he will just run through people, literally. So Bolt's easily top 15. Next brawler who is top 15 in my opinion, especially after some nerfs to other meta brawlers around him, has to be Ruffs. So he was literally lurking on the top 15, and in terms of like pro play rate, like Ruffs is always at the top right now, and that's mainly because there's actually not really that many assassins in this particular meta. I mean, maybe with Nori, when he's added in ranked, it might make life a little bit more tough for Ruffs, but I think Edgar and Mortis are like lurking in and around like A tier, B tier, and that's allowing Ruffs to just thrive that bit more. He's able just to dominate so many different brawlers at the mid-range, open up the map, feed a hypercharge to a broken hypercharge brawler. That's why Ruffs is being played so much. And if you watched Angel Boy's monthly qualifier video, Foot, I mean, they're known for playing a lot of Ruffs, but the best team in the world right now on paper, they first picked Ruffs 3 times, and that was in the previous meta, so, and they won 3 out from that. So it just goes to show Ruffs is just such a sleeper pick, and he's still insane in this meta. Next brawler who is in the top 15 now has to be Lumi. So Lumi received no nerfs in the last update. She didn't really need any nerfs, but the update before that, the nerfs that she received was just like, again, like a slap on the wrist. They nerfed her Ice Rink gadget a little bit, but they didn't really take away any health or any amount of damage that she puts out. She can still just run through people because of how much damage she deals. Again, she's one of these sleeper picks where people don't often go to Lumi and think that she's very strong. I remember upon release, you know, no one thought Lumi was strong, and it just takes it because it's a little bit more skill, a little bit more depth to her main attack. But trust me, she's absolutely insane right now. Again, because of Edgar and Mortis creeping down the meta, it's allowed Lumi to thrive a bit more. Next brawler now in the top 15 has to be Stu. So in the previous few metas, Stu's play rates have just gone through the roof because he's been such a good matchup into so many of the meta brawlers. He's just ultra consistent right now. So Stu, again, you think of a lot of the top meta brawlers, he's pretty good into most of them. If you watch my how to counter video, which most of the time Stu is a good matchup 1 versus 1 into a lot of brawlers in the game right now, but I think in particular in this meta, it's allowed him to thrive even more, where he's literally on the cusp of S tier again. If you rewind back like 4 months or whatever, I believe Stu was like a B, C tier brawler. He just wasn't being played at all. Now he's got a lot of play rates in scrims, and that was in the previous meta. Now with all of his nerfs, if anything, it's going to get even better. He's also got a bugged speed zone turret, so he's even faster. So yeah, Stu, there's a lot going for him in this meta. The next brawler I'm putting in the top 15 has to be Crow. So Crow, again, I want to test him out a little bit, but when you think about the nerfs that they gave him, still, I'm like, he's still going to be better. I know it for sure. I can't prove it. No, I can prove it. So with Crow, they basically they did that like small kind of rework with Crow, and then they buffed his damage a substantial amount for, I mean, it's not for no reason. I kind of see what the angle they'll take in, but when you think about it, they didn't need to do that. So now they've reverted his damage to what it was pre-buff. So he's basically the same old Crow with a few things nerfed from his kit overall. From like, if you're rewinding back before his buffies, that's basically kind of there, but then he's still got buff, so he's still strong, right? Like, he needs more nerfs. Like, he just needs even more. I still think it's going to be so annoying to take down a lot of the time. Yes, I'm glad that they're nerfing him consistently, but I don't see a world where he's below A tier in this meta. Moving on to the final brawler on this 15 best brawler ranking video, and it is Brock. So Brock, I still think he's pretty powerful. I wasn't expecting any nerfs for Brock because, again, I think he's at a kind of a sweet point where it takes a little bit of skill to play him. He's easy to counter in the pros' hands, but if the right map, bounty, knockout, and later on in draft and heist, he's still really annoying to deal with. That's mainly because of his star power buffy, still really long shot. It's just really strong. His hypercharge buffy is very, very good, and both gadgets are very excellent on Brock. So yeah, he's a great pick in this meta still, and I think he's on like the cusp of the top 15 because he's still like, he still can counter him, and he's still, yeah, there's a few nuances with Brock. So there's a few brawlers that I just missed out on here. I think Edgar's kind of creeping in and around people. Damien, I'm yet to be completely sold on him. It could be in and around the top 15. But after playing him a couple of times, he really didn't feel that great, honestly. So, yeah, we'll see with the tier list in a few days' time where he lands. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.